Why not? It's a simple question with this incredible impact. As children, we often ask in curiosity, why? Either to the joy or to the annoyance of those who are looking after us. Yet over time, many of us learn to stop asking why, and instead we start to follow orders. We start to accept the world as it is. We believe that life is just a series of steps that we need to take to find success. But whose success? Yours? Mine? Or someone else's vision of who we should be? Someone else's vision of how the world should be? Generation Y, or millennials, have quite the reputation. Some say that we are the entitled generation, the ones that are always on social media. Others say that we are the generation worse off than the ones before. Endless student loan debt, living at home forever. Others still say we are the generation that has started more often asking a very important question. Why not? Yes, why not? Why not do things differently than how they're done today? Why not try something that I have no experience with? Why not say hi to that stranger who I find interesting? Why not see what I am capable of by pushing my mind, my body, and my heart further? Why not define for myself what the future holds? Why not change the world? Or at least just the space that I occupy for someone. Through his research, famed author and organizational consultant Simon Sinek has been spending his time reconnecting people with that other question, why? In his work, Start With Why, Sinek says to craft a personal why in order to find something that is of meaning to you, a purpose, something that tells others what drives you. If asking why helps you define a purpose, or at least a personal goal, then asking why not helps us identify those fears, those uncertainties, and those doubts that prevent us from pursuing that personal goal. And instead, asking why not helps us find the courage and the motivation to take those first uneasy steps into the unknown. So as we go through this talk together, I ask that you keep two questions in mind. The first, by asking why not, is it possible that in addition to shaping our own journey, we might be able to help enable someone else to shape their own? And second, what's stopping you from living your why not and narrating your story? At this point, you're probably wondering, who the heck is this guy? He looks Indian. He talks like he's from the United States, and he seems a bit older to be a millennial. My name is Mandeep. Yes, I'm from the US. Yes, I'm from Indian heritage. Yes, I'm an MBA at ESADE. And yes, technically, I am a millennial. I just made the cutoff, I swear. I believe in sharing stories in order to encourage others to reflect on their journeys and their stories. And yes, we all have a story. By sharing, we're able to create a space in which others are able to voice their own, or even act on things that they've kept to themselves. I don't have any original research behind the science of asking why not, and sadly, Google was not able to help me either. Instead, I come today offering my own story of asking why not as an example to explore. I've asked why not throughout my life to become the person who I am today. At 24, I asked why not and redefined the relationship with my religious heritage, cutting my hair for the first time and no longer wearing a turban as I did each day, yet still embracing the beautiful values of a faith that resonate with me. At 25, I asked why not, and then stood proud and openly as a gay man. Throughout my career, I have asked why not, taking on unfamiliar professional roles in order to stretch my ability to lead and problem solve no matter the scenario. Asking why not gave me the courage to see the world on my own, taking me from the heights of Machu Picchu to the mountains of Lesotho, and so many places in between. Yet today, I want to explore the outcome of one specific why not story. Why not leave my wonderful company of 8 years with a wonderful career trajectory, salary, and stability around loved ones to take an unpaid volunteer position in northern Namibia for 2 years to serve a community whom I had never met? The answer is the same with all my other why nots. It was to live my life authentically and to follow what matters most to me. And in this case, it was a deeper commitment to serve others while accelerating my own maturity and my own growth. Please allow me to give you some context. Namibia is a country in Southwest Africa. Beautiful, contrasting landscapes, including 2 major deserts and over 2.3 million amazing people. About half the population lives in the northern regions, and there is a vibrant array of diverse cultures. Many languages are spoken in Namibia, but English is the official one. I will admit, I had not heard of Namibia until I accepted the job offer. But with a profile like this, I literally said, why not? The organization I was with is the United States Peace Corps, a government agency that promotes cultural exchange and skills development. And we serve in nations that invite us to work alongside community leaders to provide that skills development. For me, that was community economic development. I was based at a vocational training center in the north part of the country. The center's name, Nakayale. There were about 30 staff members, 150 trainees ranging from the ages of 18 to the mid-30s, and a handful of classrooms, all by a small town of a few thousand. That small town became the community in which I called home. There were a number of things that the community and I worked on together, but our primary focus was on promoting entrepreneurship. You might be wondering, what does that even mean or look like? I had the same question in the beginning. After a few months of listening and observing and doing research into tactics in other parts of the African continent, our community came forth with a proposal for a business plan writing competition focused on innovation. Why? Even starting a small or micro business requires a well thought out plan. And in an environment where people are very likely to copy the ideas of others, it is critical to encourage a way of looking at the world differently. The Namibian government aspires to grow and diversify Namibia's private sector, as well as to prepare its people for self-employment. And training centers like Nakayale are critical in making that happen. Yet, time is limited, demands are high, and budgets are scarce. Life has so many dreams, so why invest in this competition? The community at Nakayale, though, they saw a different future. They saw the ability to build a program that could nurture the entrepreneurial skills of future business leaders. So they said, why not this program? And so that is how this program was born. We aspired to touch youth all across the region, not just at Nakayale. So we set off on a journey together, armed with a strategic plan, absolutely no funding, and a short list of public sector stakeholders who we needed to convince to come on board. We also had something else, belief. Belief in creating something unlikely to work. And it was my responsibility to keep that belief alive for the community. One of my favorite philosophies is to be stubborn on the vision and flexible on the journey. And this journey took 20 months to get off the ground. And it also collapsed twice along the way. The first attempt at a pilot was aborted after 8 months of hard work and a lot of stakeholder engagement meetings. as well as the creation of much program material and a careful design of an implementation plan. We reflected on what we had missed. And what we learned was the design of this program, given the number of institutions we aspired to bring in, was too big to manage effectively. Emotionally, this hurt a lot. But there was a key insight that we also gained. Everyone believed in the vision. It was just that the design of the program had to be scaled to meet the capacity of our community. So we redrew the plan and we brought it back to leadership at Nakayale. They reflected and they said, why not? In this new plan, we were strictly focused on the vocational centers in the northern regions. Yet, about 5 months later, there were still concerns, given the amount of time needed for stakeholder management by the community, as well as my time in Namibia ending in just a few months. So leadership had to bring up a tough question. Do we just stop here? The thing is about a vision of a future that's so compelling is that it hooks into the minds and the hearts of people, including your own. So literally and obsessively overnight, I redrafted a plan to get us to a more viable place, this time strictly focused on Nakayale and our trainees. And one more time, leadership at Nakayale said, why not? February of 2018, we opened the application process. Participating trainees had to write a detailed business plan on a product or service. They didn't have to change the world. They just had to find a better way of doing something through products or services. They had 2 months to submit, and during that time, they were exposed to concepts like value propositions, unit accounting. To our excitement, we received 7 applications with ideas ranging from an employment agency to a photography business. On the 20th of May, 2018, our finalists came together to pitch their ideas to a jury of local leaders. Those local leaders were determined to push and challenge our trainees to think critically about their ideas and their plans. And in the end, they selected a winner. Bernard. Bernard, who is a gentleman in the middle on the photo on the right, wanted to bake bread for the local workers in his village so they could save money instead of traveling to the nearby town. And he wanted to use the winnings to buy a small oven and a few other pieces of equipment. At least that's what Bernard wrote about. But what he brought in that day shocked us all. And as one juror said in surprise, Bernard, you did not bake a bread. This is a gourmet cake. Please understand the impact of this moment. A young man from a small village in northern Namibia, from a culture with a totally different set of culinary tastes, on his own volition, using ingredients hardly used by anyone in the region, baked a delicious cake at a price point affordable to the community. You add in his humble and calm nature, and we had one juror who was literally near tears. After 20 months, our community found the validation with their eyes and hearts that this program could indeed be the platform to find, nurture, and elevate potential. The program is now being prepared for its second launch under the leadership of this community. And Bernard is working hard to finish his degree and is continuing to refine his culinary skills. In this brief story, an individual asked himself, why not? And he took an acceptable risk to serve a community. That community said, why not? Repeatedly through setbacks, to build something that seemed unlikely to create, let alone to work. Namibian millennials said, why not? And they stretched their creative abilities. And amongst those millennials was one who stood forward as an inspiration for us all. Every why not in my journey has transformed me into being a more capable and more matured person for others. And each and every one of you has a why not story or a why not question that you may or may not be exploring right now. Every story goes at its own pace, but I must challenge you. Sometime today, write down on a piece of paper, what is a why not on your mind? Why is it important to you? And what are those first steps that you know you need to take? Then put that paper somewhere safe, and then get to work. And then at some point in the future, get that paper back, read what you wrote today, and then reflect on how your story unfolded. Regardless of whether you choose to do this exercise or not, I still encourage you to share your why not stories with the people around you and to take those first uneasy steps into the unknown towards your why not question. Because you do not know, in addition to shaping your own journey, you might play a role in shaping someone else's journey. Thank you.